Got money on my mind, I swear I'm gonna win, even if it kills me. I got money on my mind, the only way I'm gonna rest is if these motherfuckers kill me. I got money on my mind.
Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be doing a different video. As many of you guys know, the new recall on Bmw E60 was released. My car has just been into BMW and I've had all the recall done, so I'm going to show you what it consists of, and I've also been notified of a new part they're going to replace under the recall. Now mine is booked in again to have it done because they don't have enough parts in stock to do it, and they didn't have the part in when my car was there, so my car's been rebooked back in to have this part carried out and fitted to my car. Now when this recall does get released, everyone's going to see it, and then they should have enough parts for everyone to go in and have it done. At the moment this only applies to the UK. At the moment, this only applies to all E60s, E90s, most of the engines that use this setup. So if you do have this and you've already replaced this part, they won't do it for you. It has to be the original part, and it's kind of failed for them to replace it. So I'm going to go out to the car, I'm going to show you all the recalls which have been a common problem on the E60 and E90s, and then I'm going to show you which new one they're now replacing for free. And you guys are going to probably like this, so stay tuned for this part that's going to be replaced. And if you haven't had it replaced, it's going to be a major expense off your head to have this done. So the first one, guys, is going to be the battery cable. That was the first recall they ever released in 2008 regarding that battery cable that sits underneath this cover, and it sits underneath a polystyrene cover that you pull up, and it's right there. It was the battery cover and the bolt. You had to grease it back down. I'll put a picture up here above so you guys can see what one I'm on about, but I've got a video up regarding that battery cable as well. That was the first ever recall for these E60s. And most people have gone and had it done and thought nothing of it. So when that was done, everyone just thought that was the only recall and that was it. So moving on to this year, in this month, there was a new recall released for the battery cable that runs from the front of the passenger boot well to here, the junction box. So this fuse box, which I'll put another picture up here instead of me removing the cover, is, which many people know behind here, has all the electrics for the whole rear of the car and iDrive and that. Now that fuse box is part of the recall that they end up replacing because it's got the battery cable that runs from it to the battery cable in the trunk here, to the battery, to the front of the passenger fuse box. Now all these fuse boxes link up, so this is why it's a whole day job, and they want your car a whole day because they need to redo this fuse box as well as the fuse box at the front. As I said, I'll put a picture up here so you guys can see what fuse box this is, but that one's going to be replaced along with the whole battery cabling as well in the rear boot area. So let's move on to the front, and I'm going to show you what it runs to in the front of the area. So as you guys are probably not aware, the fuse box then runs from the rear back to here onto this cable here, which then links onto this fuse box, as you'll see right here. The cable also runs directly under the floor, which you'll see all the wiring looms going there, the red cable back to the engine bay. Now that one is responsible for controlling the power to the DME and all the electrics on the engine side itself, and all the components to the engine side, which powers all the electrics from this fuse box right here. I'll put another picture up above showing you all the cable in and everything running to the fuse box. This is the main wiring loom right there, which they're going to be replacing, and the cable ends up going 40. Now you guys need to go and get that replaced. This is what the recall consists of. It is a whole day job, as they've told me, and as it took in my car. They can as well give you a courtesy car to use while your car's being repaired. So just be aware of that as well, that if you're going to want that, you need to let them know in advance, because they will tell you it's a whole day job. And if you're going to be without a car, it saves you having to sit around BMW. When I was there, they were trying to make me buy another car, trying to keep me there so they didn't have to give me the courtesy car. And I was like, I don't need to be there. I just want the courtesy car. Be aware of that. They'll also check all your modules while you're in here as well. If you've got the modules all located here, which, as you know, is the KGM and KBM module, the SGM module, and also your adaptive headlight module. If it's there, they'll check all them and all the wiring. They'll run the checks on all the fuse system itself, but this has to be pulled out and addressed due to it being faulty and causing fluctuation in current over the years. Now we don't know if this is going to be a permanent fix as of yet, and if they might need to address it again in 10 years time, because I mean, if they're addressing it now and it's failing, what's to say it's not going to fail later on in life and they found the actual problem and it's going to repair it. I'm going to tell you about what's been happening with this so far and how many people have got into self already into danger. I'll tell you in a bit why this has to be done and why you guys need to get it done immediately. And if not, if it does end up going on you before you can get to the recall, what you can do and what BMW is willing to do for you if you're not in a position to get your car to the recall now, or they're making you wait too long because they've got too many bookings, because they are willing to give you something if you have to wait and anything happens during that time. So let's get on to the next recall. So as many of you guys are aware, the other recall which was released here in the UK in 2010 was the PCV heater. Now, nobody in the UK went and took their car to BMW because people just clocked onto it and just started disconnecting it because it doesn't do anything, and we don't get that kind of cold climate here where we need to use the PCV heater. So people were just disconnecting it and leaving it as that because they didn't want to run the risk of their car catching fire. Now, the majority of components on this car are all at risk of catching fire. Even the new recall is the reason why they're doing that for the battery, and like I said, I'm gonna explain to you in a second why I'm telling you guys to go and get it done and what BMW will do if it ends up catching fire in the process. So that's the PCV heater recall. You guys are already aware of that. Just disconnect it. Don't even bother booking yourself into BMW to have that replaced, because there is no point. You're going to run yourself into a load of problems, probably wait ages for them to remove the manifold, break the CCV. They don't want you to buy a PCV from them because they can't access it without taking the PCV off or removing oil filter housing. Then you're going to have to buy new gaskets anyway because that ain't covered on the recall. There is no other way of doing it apart from breaking the PCV hose and redoing it anyway. So that's one of the problems that you need to get addressed. Many people in the US are all replacing that as if it's a new recall. It's not new here in the UK or the EU. It's been out for ages. In the US, you guys are getting all the recalls a bit slower than us. It can take years before you guys get them, and then they're acting as if they're new, which they're not. This recall's been out for ages. As I said, I've been aware of it for a long time, but that's all I do. As soon as I take the manifold up, because I'm always going to do the CCV if I buy one of these cars, is straight away just pull out the PCV heater wire, and that's it. It doesn't run, and there's no need anyway. It doesn't do nothing. It only runs for about a minute, and it runs while the car's not even on, before you even started to warm up the car. When the key's near it, it detects it. So it's better to have that disconnected so it doesn't even try and fire up. So guys, I just want to speak to you really regarding this new recall. So I've been getting a lot of messages from people. One recent guy actually contacted me about his car. He was driving down the road. He only got 5 minutes from home. He smelt this burning and saw the smoke coming through his air vents. He had his baby and his wife in the car. He lifted up the bonnet to find his car on fire. It was smoking. He went to go and put his wife and baby to safety. By the time he come back, the car was engulfed with flames on the engine side. Now, he did try and put the fire out. It comes from the wiring, which is what BMW are replacing. This is a 2008 LCI model. The car went up in flames. BMW are now replacing all the part, and they're also willing to pay you out if you have to wait longer than a recall and your car ends up catching fire. They are willing to replace and give you money for the problem if your car was to catch fire during that time. They'll also take the car and try and, if you can put the fire out for the wiring loom, they're willing to replace all the wiring loom for free for you. If your car ends up catching severe fire, you can claim compensation from BMW. I think it's up to £8,000 for damages, and also your car being completely damaged, so be aware of that as well. You have to claim for your car on your own insurance, but you'll get paid out from BMW for compensation. As the recall is outstanding, VOSA are aware of it, and VOSA will make sure BMW pay any personnel that's hurt, injured, or at loss from the fire due to this recall, because it's only just come out. BMW are having a massive backlog, and there could be a month, 2 months waiting list. Now, this guy's just had the job done. I've advised him to go and get legal advice and sue BMW. VOSA should pay him out the money he needs for the car, because I don't believe BMW are going to be able to address the whole problems. He's now got a battery discharge problem on his car thanks to the Lumi burning up itself. But this is the severity of the recall, and this is why BMW are releasing it now before it gets any more severe and people's cars start catching fire. It is a common problem. The PCV heater was one, now the battery recall is another. You guys have to get your car to BMW before it ends up leaving you stranded in your car catching fire and with a world of trouble, because you know, at the end of the day, you don't want to be left without your car. E60 is a beautiful car. If everyone's getting set on fire, there's going to be no more around, so let's try and save them now before they end up all in the scrapyard for being burnt out and damaged. Okay guys, so you guys are going to like this new recall. Now, when my car was in with BMW, that after it was all done, they actually found another fault which BMW have just only advised them and told them that now every car needs to have replaced. And I'm going to go and show you what that part is. I'm going to let you see if you guys can actually clock what it is, and I'll put a picture above when I show you the part so you can see it clearly. But you guys ain't going to actually believe this, but everyone who's been replacing this part, because it's a common failure point. The reason it's been failing is because with the voltage problem, it's been overvolting the certain part, causing it to overheat and causing it to fail, in turn making you guys pay so expensive for something that you've never actually had to pay for. And it's a shame BMW have only just advised people of this and now putting it as a recall and replacing it for people who are still on the original one, like I am. Luckily I haven't done mine, because now they're going to replace it completely for free. And it's one part that you guys are going to actually be very happy with if you ain't had yours done already. Like I said, BMW have only just realize this junction box that's causing all the electrics to fail and cause fire is actually sending direct voltage, because as you know, it pulls voltage from the IBS. The IBS then sends voltage to the DME, and the DME then sends whatever voltage is requesting straight to all the systems itself. Now it's been requesting the wrong voltage, in turn causing a loss of failure and a lot of power going to this certain part and causing it to actually fail, overheat, burn out and completely fail. Hence why the solder points on this part, like I said to you, when you open it, ends up failing, and why it always comes apart, because of heat. And it's not because of the heat in other countries, it's because of the amount of power that's being delivered. It ends up putting more power means more heat, more faster the part's going to work, more voltage, direct current. So in turn, that's why this part fails. So guys, I wonder if you can see what part it is that I'm on about that needs replacing on the engine. I'm going to give you a second just to see if you can see what I'm actually pointing the camera at. And if you can't, it's the water pump. Now, the electric water pump is the newest recall. BMW, as I said, have just told me from today, is the part that is now going to be renewed for every customer who's still on the original water pump. If you're still on the original water pump, they are replacing that for free, because as I said, it's thanks to the electronic system itself and the fuses inside the car sending the wrong voltage. Now, BMW have just told me it's been using the wrong fuse and wrong relay for the water pump the whole time, because it runs from the DME's relay, and the relay was too high current for it and it was delivering too much power, hence the water pump was failing. Now, my one did have the right relay in anyway, since it's gone to BMW and they've changed it, and in a lot of other countries they haven't done that, but my one has got the advised relay in it already, but they are still going to change the water pump regardless, because my one needs to be changed. There's a newer model they've just bring out. It's not made by Pierberg anymore. It's BMW have told me it's made for another company. I haven't got the details as of yet, but I will let you guys know once I've had it fitted. Mine is booked in for next week to have it done with them, and I'll let you know what the brand is, as they will be letting me know what brand it is as well. And like, I let you guys know to go and get it done, and if they're actually getting fully booked up, as they've got a recall hotline, so I can find out how many recall people they've got coming through for this recall. Now I'm actually releasing it. Like I say, guys, if you ain't had your water pump done, or you've gone and if you've changed it yourself, they won't do it, and they know if it's a BMW part, it's got BMW printed on the side of it. So don't try and go there with a part that you've already replaced the car and try and get a free water pump. It won't happen. They're not stupid. If they take it down and find it, you will be charged. So make sure, if you haven't changed your water pump, go and get it changed for free. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I've gone over all the recalls known on the E90s and E60s. The electronic one, for all the electronics, only applies to people with iDrives only, and all the main electrical systems, like with the heads-up display and all the high-tech system, all the communication systems, Bluetooth modules, things like that. It does not apply to people who don't have the iDrive or the system itself built into the car, i.e. the Bluetooth modules or any of the modules. If you have got a standard car and your car's manual with nothing of the iDrive or anything else on the car, the automatic climate control and things like that, this will not apply to you. None of these recalls will apply to you. This only applies to people with the full setup inside their car, iDrive, heads-up display, Bluetooth, all systems in the car. Anybody else, this recall for fuse box or any of the others will not apply. It goes for E60, E61, E63, E90, E91. Also, it goes for all of them. Is that 330D, 330i, 530i, 530D, 535i, 550i, 545i, 645ci, 630i. Regardless of what engine it is, regardless of what year, it applies to all. Pre-LCI, LCI. Thank you very much for watching, guys. It's BMW Dr. Dean here, and goodbye.